We'll be starting the webinar now. As we completed the first webinar on how to design your technical query module 1, in which we discussed about the basics. Okay, so what we'll be doing today, we'll be discussing about more about technical query in detail, and we'll be exploring the advanced technical query that we can build with this. Okay, so the first thing, before we start with the today's topic, that is the advanced part, I think many of them were, if you are not present, then I will go through, I will be revising the earlier part in just 10 minutes, so that if someone is not there, he can, get to the point with that what we have completed and what we are heading towards.
Train travel for general people again in Mumbai.
So, as you all know that what is technical query in Spider software? Technical query is basically a tool where you can easily, as I said last time, that you can easily make your queries or a kind of scanner that will help you out to know your, to get your signals of buy and sell. Next thing what we saw is what is why it's important to build a technical query. These are the 5 steps that I've shown on last time, that is for a high efficient trading because it saves our time. Okay, for the signal resolution system because it helps us to generate efficient signals for buy and sell as per our predefined strategy with the quantitative matters. It helps to also reduce and also helps to manage the risk, and it also helps in as an effective tool for money management as well, and it's all obviously it saves the time. So before building any the I'm again this continuing because it's very much important that before building any scanner, okay, there is a prerequisite, there's a 3-step prerequisite that you need to follow. The first one is that you need to identify your exact quantity requirement. For example, say you want that so and so things should be done, but first you need to identify what all things are inside it. Like for example, you need RSI query, or you need average query, or you need Ichimoku query, or you need uh, for say band Bollinger query, or anything, any study related query. First you need to identify what exact condition you want. Okay, so but a second thing, you need to identify what all study would be including while making the scanner. For example, say you have changed the input of the RSI with the DEMA, okay, and you want the the RSI crossover thing, but while making you need to change the input as well of the RSI in the query as well to get the accurate results. So your study involved would be your double EMA and your RSI. So this is the way you need to identify what all thing would be, what all study specifically would be involved. For example, say you need anything on for example, say price action, like candlestick, it should be green, it should be above the high, or if the close should be above, the low should be below. Anything related to open, high, low, close, volume, anything. Okay, especially with the price, you should be using price VHLC. We have a different tool of price VHLC for intraday especially, where you can have a comparison between the the previous days max volume bars and previous day first candle. Many things are involved, okay, that you can make it. So first you need to identify what all things you want. Second thing, you need to identify the flow, like what thing would be coming first, what thing would be coming second, what would be the third one. Okay, so once you identify these 3 requirements, this 3 quantitative requirement, this would help you out to make the scanner easily, because once you're clear in your mind what you need, you can easily make out the same. Okay, so next thing we saw about the components of the technical query. We saw there are 4 tabs in the technical query, that is study, comment, result, historical, and result live. I'm just going through the each one of them. You can just see on this that this tab is to build the query. This is to write the about the query and change the time frame. This tab is to point the results when run on at point results, and this is the live tick by tick results. This is the three part I divided into the, this is the forming part. Okay, four parts. So this is for example, say this is for saving loading the query, this part. Okay, like you can select the group, you can select what type of scanning you want, like you want live tick by tick scanning or you want at point scanning. At point scanning means historical scanning. Okay, now this is your study framing box. Like you add your conditions and for formations, modify over here, and accordingly, for example, say you want your just condition to be followed, then you can simply click on condition. If you want to give some relationship between them, like for example, say if you want to build some relationship, last time we saw about simple relationship using some conjunctions like and or. We'll be looking into complex relationships today, like how we can use and or brackets, and also negative part, like the negation not part. Okay, this is the filter box. Okay, and the next one, this is for building the relationship. As I told you, the for building the relationship you need to build over here. Like this is the comment box, this is the second tab of comment. This is help to write down your all the description of the strategy. For example, so you're making a strategy for a specific on a specific day, and you are continuing making different kind of strategy, but you don't remember what you made for. So you can simply write it down your description that this is what made, and this is how I take the confirmations, this is how I take the trade, this would be the stop loss. Okay, on this basis I'll take the stop loss, on this basis I'll be taking target. You can write the entire strategy description over here, so that whenever you open the scanner, you'll able to know what and how you'll be using it. This one is to time, this is known as time frame modification box, which is help to for example, say you add you made a strategy in daily. Okay, now for example, say you want it to be converted into intraday, the same strategy you want, but you want to run on intraday, you can simply change the time frame from over here. This is the results box. Okay, the this is historical, you will, this is the exactly the you will say about at time results, at one point of time results. Okay, this refresh seconds, this helps to scan at equal distribution of time. Like for example, say I need to mention the second. Now we are coming to today's part, like how to build multi time frame query. Okay, we just revise the old one, or how we get through all the the basic part what we saw on the first webinar or first module. Now on the second module we'll be discussing how we can build multi time frame, how we can modify into multi time frame, uh, and further on I'll be discussing on how we can build complex relationships, and how we can change give different study inputs and make it more reliable, exactly what you need. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we'll be looking at how to build multi time frame. So last time we saw how to add the conditions. Okay, so you already know about how to add the conditions. Now I'll be showing you how to build multi time frame queries. Like you just while you're adding the condition, last time we just saw one time frame, right? So to this time we'll be looking at, for example, say this is the I have already selected a group over here. Now I want the query to be made on two time frames. Let's say intraday 60 minutes, and say intraday uh, 10 minutes. Okay, so for getting the intraday, okay, what you need to do is you just select the theory, or you want on daily, weekly, whatever you want, you can select accordingly. Okay, and you can change the time frame accordingly. For example, say I want simple dema of 21. Okay, I'll just show you one screen so that it will be easy for your reference. For example, say I plotted a DEMA over here, that is double exponential moving average. Let's take an example of 13. Okay, now what I'll do is I add RSI with the input of DEMA. Instead of price loss, I'll take DEMA. So this is the way for example, this can be anything. It can be MACD. Whenever you are just changing the input over here, I will be just showing you how we can change it over here also, and how we can build multi-time frame. For example, say currently my requirement, I'll go with the steps, prerequisite step, what we need to do. Okay, so to get it right way, what I'll do, I'll just duplicate this chart, press Ctrl T, I'll tile them, I'll make this as 1 as weekly, I make this as weekly, and this is daily, this is weekly. Okay, so what I want, as per the doubt here, you always know that the trend of the higher time frame is being reflected in the smaller time frame. Okay, and the higher time frame trend would be followed by the smaller time frame. So getting a better confirmations from the higher time frame is always better. So to get that, we need to build to get the results accordingly, we need to build a query accordingly. For example, say in the higher time frame, I want the demand should be positive. Okay, for example, say this is my current candle. Okay, this one is my current candle. So for example, say, sorry, yeah, so for this is my current candle. So for example, I want to know that on the current candle should be positive. I want my on the weekly chart it should be positive, and over here if I'm getting any buy signal, then this will be my buy for me. Okay, so similar way, if the current candle is negative or crossing RSI is negative, and over here my RSI is giving me a signal, okay, of sell, then probably I will go for that. Okay, so if I want to build that, how I would build, it's very easy. Like you can build a simple multi-time frame strategy by simple just adding the conditions. Now first thing what we need to check that what all studies are involved. We have two studies involved over here, that is DEMA, that is double exponential moving average, and RSI. Second thing, we need to identify how will be the sequence. First thing, I need to add DEMA because I need to add that input to the RSI. Okay, so to get that exactly what I need to do, I found the sequence also, that first I need to add DEMA, then the RSI. Okay, now I need to find the sequence of the time frame as well. First I want it to be daily and then weekly. Okay, so let's start it. So first thing what we'll do, I'll just add up this DEMA. Okay, I'll just give the parameter as 13. Okay, now over here I'll just mention that it's cutting the average upward. Okay, over here you want to change the input? No, we want the price close itself. Okay, now for changing the input, you can simply use this change input button, which is given right below the your condition box. Now I'm being using RSI. This is daily, right? 14.9 only. I want the RSI should be cutting upward. Okay, and now I want DEMA input in this. So what I'll do is I'll put DEMA over here and say okay. Over here I want weekly as well. So instead of directly adding a relative strength and putting it weekly, what I first need to do, I need to first plot the weekly DMA, because it's time frame restricted as well. Like, if I'm adding any study on daily, how can I modify the, give the input of that daily into weekly? So for that I need to plot the DMA, that is the double exponential, on weekly as well. So what I'll do, I'll just plot the double exponential on weekly as well. See, I'll just put it weekly, whatever the condition may be. Okay, so we just added these two conditions, like weekly is cutting price upward. Okay, but I don't want its cutting price upward. What we can do, we can add it as it should be above the average, because it's weekly, right? We need that weekly monitoring to be positive. So I added it purposely so that I can show you how you can modify as well. Like, for example, you by mistakenly selected some wrong condition. What you can do is just simply double click on it and simply go and select your right one. Okay, I selected over here DMA. Now I need to add the RSI. So I'll say I go to RSI. This is 49, and over here you can select it's above, like your RSI is already positive. Now you need to change. Now this, what happened is, this happened to be, by mistakenly it was daily. Now if I want to modify that one condition, what I'll do is, I'll click on it, I'll go to comments, I'll select it, I select the time as weekly, and I put on change. So this is how you change the time frame as well. Okay, okay. So after this, what we'll be doing is untick this one, because we want to build relationship between them, right? So over here, I'll say, for example, say I select over here as DMA. Earlier we saw about how to change the input of the basic things, like, using open, high, low, close. Now you can use the study, but for study you need to plot the study first, or whichever time frame, whichever input you want to give, you need to plot the study first. So we saw over here the, we plotted those two things. Okay, the daily chart, daily RSI and the weekly RSI with changing the input. Now we need to give the relationship. Before giving the relation, you need to click on relation, then you give over here, like this is conditions, this is numbers. We'll put C0, C1, C2, C3, C4, and whatsoever conditions you have selected. Okay, so I just want C2, C1 and C3. So I'll just press C1 and C3, plus I want to build as, even if the averages are above and below, like averages are above, like, a weekly average is above, and the currently average is also giving me the crossover. Okay, I know this would be a very, rare one, but we can try it out. So I'll say and again. Now over here I want to use the condition. If I want the compulsion that it should be along with it, then I'll use and. If I want optional thing, like, if it's there also it's good, if it's not there then it's also good. So I'll press or. Okay, just remember, whenever you're giving some conjunction between two things, you need to add brackets. Like I added a bracket over here, like I want this entire condition, or I want another entire conditions, like say C0 and C2, oh sorry, C3, oh sorry, and say bracket close. I just take this up and give the descriptions as by. Now what I need to do is, I need to click on, either I can run it on live. Okay, for you, if I want to run on live, just show you on action replay. So over here I just selected the action play. Now if you want, you can select a bigger group. Okay, like for example, say I want Nifty 500, then I can select Nifty 500 as well. If you have some your customized, you can run on that also. So over here I just did that, and you find out that I'll just got only this 6 calls after 500 scripts. So if I say CGCL, okay, now if you want this base to both to come together, you can, what you can do, you can click on script synchronize, so that you will get the both scripts changing together. So over here you can see the price is already above the average. It satisfies a condition. It's crossing the RSI. Plus, if you see the weekly chart is already positive. So this is the beauty, like, for building this. You're getting this. This is also giving the same results. Like the candle is, this already above the average. And this RSI is crossing. So over here the candle crossover strategy, that thing is not happening, but the RSI thing is satisfying in grind well. Like I mentioned or, right? That's the reason it gave me either it's happening or it's not happening in some cases, because I want both the results. So over here I can say it's not happening. I mean, it's happening on the crossover is happening, and over here in weekly it's positive. IIFL same thing, crossover happening, and in weekly is positive. Similarly, Timlis, you can see average is not cutting the average upward, but the RSI thing is happening. Okay. Now, if I want compulsion, what will happen? I just, instead of or, I need to mention and. What will happen? It will filter it more for me. Okay. So currently we don't have anything very specifically, like it's crossing it, but it's not crossing upward. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll make it or again, and we can check it again. Okay, this is how we modified the study. Now for example, say now leave this RSI. If I want all the results, like for example, say I want price cutting average upward, but I want close to be above only. Okay, and this to be positive. So what I'll do is I'll just make another condition downstairs in the next box, that C1, I just say averages, no RSI, and C2. You need to give space between your conjunctions. This is average thing, only average one. Okay. As market is negative, we'll get very few or rare of them. See, we got nothing over here. But if we have made negative, we would have got something. Okay, like for example, say average. You can take your own averages. Okay, this is just an example that will help you build it up. Okay, I say downward. Okay, and weekly, change the times into weekly, below average. So this is 4 and 5, so I'll say C4 and C5. See, you can use the sign as well. Okay, so I say sell on AVG. Whatever you want to give the description, you can give it. Okay, now I'll just run this. See, there's so many. On buy we got one electric that is crossing upward. Okay, and on sell we got around around 77. We just got these are 8 9, so say 77 minus 9 would give us around 68 stocks which are negative right now because of the negative trend. See, it's cutting downward. The weekly is also negative. same way. Okay, so this is a multi time frame. You can build multi time frame like say daily, weekly, intraday, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever combination you want. Okay, you can also use conjunctions like or, negation. Negation will be looking now. Okay, how you can use negation. Okay, like not not relationship. Like no, I don't want this condition to be happening. Okay, so you can mention that as well. Like everyone mentions that this to be happen, this to be happen. We can also mention that what not to be happening. Okay, so you can be that specific. Okay, so looking at this, we be able to know that using simple tools we can change the. Now over here I'll found a few of the scripts are just crossing it, but it's not closing below the average. What if I want the closing to be below the average exactly? Okay, major you'll see it's crossing and closing below, but if I want exact close to be below the average, how I can do that? Okay, it's very easy to do that as well. Okay, for example, I want to ignore this kind of trades, all kind of trades. Well, it's crossing but it's not closing below the average. So what can I do is over here over here I can use spread. We have formulas over here. In formula, spread means the difference between the two values. Okay, so I'll just plot it the spread in the chart to explain you what it exactly looks like and what it exactly does for us. For example, say I say go to spread formula. Okay, in the input I want a difference between the average and the close. Okay, so you got the average and the close. Now your close, you can see at this point your close is above the average. Okay, this is difference between average and the close, and the difference between them is 1 point, but it's positive, it's not negative. We want it to be negative, like the close difference should be negative. For example, say over here when the close was below the average, you see that every the value was negative. Similarly, if I add this to this, what will happen? Will it be giving me exact results, like it's if it's crossing exactly or it's already positive kind of thing? Yes, it will help me out. So we can use formulas like spread, sum of columns. Okay, I'll be giving you some examples like over here I just want to ignore those trades which are giving me like say close not close below the average. Okay, now in Colpol as well we see that it started moving below the average as well. Okay, so I'll just make it 10 for a while so that we get to cope with it. Okay, so over here see I'm running historical. So what is happening, I'm getting at point of time. Okay, so over here first I add the spread. I want it should be closing below itself. So there are, you can see there are various kind of conditions given, like crossing zero line upward. Okay, this is the zero line. Like crossing this means crossover and it's closing above and below. You can mention the exact point, or it's you can also mention that it's already above, like it's already above, this would come, this all would come, this candles can come. Okay, you want to be just like from turning from year to year, from negative to positive. You can plot that as well by crossing zero line upward. If it's rising, like the difference is rising, you'll get this kind of results over here by using this. By falling, you can mention over here this kind of results, like gradually it's falling. Turning upward downward, like turning upward downward means from negative it's turning positive. Okay, so these are the usage. What I want right now, I want it to be crossing from turning upward also you can use, or better is I want it should be crossing zero line upward. Like I want where the it's getting close, I mean for negative I want downward. So where from positive it's turning downward. So I'll say crossing zero line downward over here. I'll just add that one condition over here. say and C6. Okay, now before I start running this, I need to change the input because the default input would be close and open. What I want is dema and close. So the I want close minus dema. So close minus dema, what I plotted over here. Okay, like it should be crossing downward. Now if I run over here, we got 77 scripts. Now you see you got lesser one and more appropriate. Like it will be always closing down that now. Like using this, you can make your query more efficient. Okay, we have various formulas. We can use various other studies as well to make this kind of stuff. So as I said, you need to first mention that what all things are involved and what are things, this is giving you the result. See, easy. Now let's move further. What if I want to build a query with multi-time frame, I mean multi-candle theory. Like I want my signal to be created over here, I want my pre-signal to be below, I want my current signal to be like, if I want to 3 candle query, how I can do it? Or can we do it on Spider? Yes, we can do it. How we need to do is a simple thing. Like whenever you are making the query, it's ask you on what bar you want this condition to be satisfied. Okay, that's our next topic, which I'm going to cover. That's we saw about how we can build multi-time frame query. Okay, by on how we can change the input or give other study input. Now how we can build multi-candle query? It's very simple. Okay, you just need to mention the number of bar. Okay, over here zero means not zero bar. Zero means over here the current bar. Okay, one means yesterday's bar. If I say on daily, it means yesterday. If I say about on any time frame, it is one means exactly previous bar from the current bar. Two, previous to previous bar. Okay, so over here if I say this is 0 bar, if I want my condition to satisfy this candle, I will mention 0. If I want the candle to specifying at this candle, I will mention 1. If I mention over here, it should be satisfying for say on this bar, I will mention 2 over here. Okay, so similarly you can make your queries accordingly. Okay, I'll just show you one setup which would help you out to understand this. See, over here I just used DEMA HHV LLV query. Okay, and I just used the spread. Okay, so over here if I see over here, I'll just mention 0, 0, 0. This is all about current one, right? But over here if I see, if you just check the inputs, it's different, like so I have used the spread to get the results accordingly. Similarly you can build your own complex query. Okay, using swing and RSI, giving your swing input in RSI, swing input in MACD, swing input in ROC. Okay, like you can build your complexity accordingly. Okay, whatever you want, like using brackets or and these are a few examples. Okay, I'll just show you one more. See over here, I just made a simple one using ADX, and similarly we made on back bar and current back bars as well. Like this is, if you see, this is one back bar. What's the current one? Yes, we have one more. I'm just showing you a few examples, okay, how we can build it. Like, you can just give your relationships accordingly. We already, just to understand, we already provided you this all queries, not for scanning as well, and for understanding as well, like, how you can build it up. You can simply check out on watch back bar it's running, okay. See, this is the exact query. This is band Bollinger query. Okay. Over here in this query, I have mentioned not. Not means what this condition says that this is band envelope. Okay. Similarly, you can use band Bollinger as well. Okay. So in this band envelope, I mentioned that there's the thing should not lose. I had did not have the condition which is says that low should be above the lower band. Means the close is above the lower band. Okay, I just have low should be below the lower band. Okay, so I want it should be inside it. What I did is I just mentioned over here not. So what it will be giving me along with that, it's close crossing upward. I mentioned that low band is not below the lower band, so that it will give me inside the band. Okay, and for that, what I mean is I'll excluded this all condition which is giving me low below the band. Okay, and over here also I give the brackets and use the same thing like and all. And over here also we can use on the current bar itself. See, we change the input of envelope. So whenever the input got changed, you always get an extra mark over here. Okay, so let's build a simple query for say two candle query. Okay, like the candle is closing above, the next candle is closing above the high of this. If I want to build this, how I can do it? Simple. I just clear this out. Now first I need to identify what all things I need. So what I'll do is I'll go to average. I can use exponential average as well. So let's say exponential average, say 21. Okay, on daily or intraday, say 15 minutes. So say control I, you can use 15 minute chart as well. Okay, and I want this one 21, right? So I'll make this changes over here as well. I'll make it 21. So I mentioned I exactly the condition I want is that is coming from upside down. It's closing below it, and the next candle is closing, giving next candle over here is giving me lower close from the ring. So if I want to satisfy this three candle query, what I'll do is instead of selecting price cutting average downward, what I'll mention is that on this is zero current bar I want it should be lower close. So for that I'll be using price urgency. For this average part I need on 1 and 2, like this is, if this is the current bar, this is 1 and this is 2. So this is 0 1 2. So first I mentioned this one. Let's go on sorted area. So first one will be this one. So what I'll do is I'll mention this as 2 bar first. And what condition I want? It should be above the average. Price above the average on 1 bar. And over here on the 2 bar I mentioned the price above the average. Over here I mentioned 21. Change your time frames accordingly. Even if you forgot, you can simply change it from the comments. Over here I'll mention it above, below. Now I need to change the candle, like on what candle I need this to be satisfied. I want this to be satisfied on 1 bar. Meant it will give me exactly these conditions. Okay, now on current bar what I want price over Chelsea things. So all I'll go to price over Chelsea. See, you have for intraday specifically also, but over here I'm selecting the normal one and select first change the time frame, let's do 15 minutes. Okay. Now over here, what I need to mention, I need to mention two things, like it should be red bar and it should be giving me close above. So you for getting abbreviations like greater than, less than, is equal to, you have column value is equal to, greater than, less than things, along with the previous close, current close, and all this stuff. So what you can do is, I can simply mention that low my current close is below the previous close. So I say column value is less than previous close. So I say mention over here as close, column value is close, I'm using close, and over here I'll make it 0. That means on current bar. Now I want the candle should be red as well. So what I do is red. So I can simply look for red body for last 10 bar. I want both my 1 and 0 bar both has to be. So I can mention the number of bars. Like I said, I want 0 and 1 candle both to be red. So I say add over here. Now I just added this 4 of them, and you will see I'll make it as daily. What I'll do, I'll just click on it, go to comments, go to intraday, and make it 15. Selected. If you click on all, it will change all the things. If you want to do that, you can do that as well. If you want to select and do specific changes, you can do as well. Okay. Now over here, I'll mention as C0 and C1 and C2 and C3. Okay, I select over here 15 minutes breakout. Okay, now I'll just run this. See, okay, so you'll see that's closing below. Current candle closes above, and then it's from above, it's coming downside. In from there, you're getting this. Like, let's run again. You'll get, so see exactly the condition what I wanted. Like, it from above, it's coming downside, it's closing below, and the current candle is below the close of this. So this give me the 3 candle confirmation. Similar way you can make 4 candles, 5 candles, but make sure you mention the chronological order accordingly. Okay, like you go step by step. Like first you build for the last candle, then you come closer to the near candle, which will help you out to not to get confused with what input you gave. See, I'm getting all the results accordingly. Over here, there's a difference because this is D1 and I added exponential average. So that's the reason you're getting a difference. But what if I want the exact chart, what is been plotted over here? So I can use the chart thing also. So if I click on chart, if this is not matching, I can click on chart. Whatever study I plotted is directly being plotted over here. If I go to intraday, let's say control of 15. So over here, this is Japanese candles. Now if I check, I'll get the exact results. You getting it? This is so easy. Okay, so you just need to do the maintain the sequence, know what you are using. Okay, now for example you made this, now you want to save this. For example, you are working in a corporate, you want to save this, you don't want to show them any or you're taking a webinar, you don't want to show what inputs you have given. You can save this in a protected manner where your input would get hidden. Like I'll go to save. Okay, last time we saw how we can save it. We normally save, like give the name, and over here so over here while saving, what you do, you just select the different one. Like I selected protected one, and I say over here the name as whatever I want. Like for example, say this is 15-minute breakout. Save. Now while you're saving, you'll get this message. This message is nothing but, if you it's asking you whether you want to save this in protected manner or not, whether you want to save it on protected format or not. If you say yes, it will ask you, would you like to have password or not. You can mention accordingly, like for example, you want password or you want it to take only the machine ID. For example, if you click on machine ID, this query Even if someone copies, he won't be able to run on his machine, because that query will be taking the machine ID as a key. So that has been only been able to do or run on your thing itself. For example, if I say yes, you can mention you want password up to certain dates, or if you want password up to, for example, say I say mentioned over here, I'll say password as 123, and I say save. Okay, say 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, save. Okay, now for to get it over here, you just need to check on protected one, and you will get the results over here. This is not happening over here because on this is a trial version I'm using right now to show you up. Okay, so in trial we do not able to do it, but in your thing you will able to do it. Okay, in this we have something like we can save it without password. Okay, like I'm giving the password for forever. Okay, now simply you can load it and you can simply run the query. Okay, you just need to enter the password. Okay, this is how we can save the into protected manner as well. Okay, now coming forward, okay, to the slides. Okay, we saw how to frame multi-candle query. Okay, non-readables, we saw how to make the protected one as well. Okay, along with that you can use studies like formulas. We saw spread. Similarly, you have sum of columns where you can add two values, two series, uh, and other things, formulas like positive only. For example, say you want positive response only, so you can use it accordingly. See, you have formulas over here. You can use the ratios, factor into value one my divided by value two. Everything is mentioned over here very clearly. Okay, like positive values, you if you want that it should only give you when the values are positive, then you can use this study as well. Okay, and change the input over here. So this is the way we can use this advanced tool and build anything. Like for example, say I want to averages crossover, I can use the uh, the input of two line two inputs. If I want three averages thing, or if I want to give three different indicators giving me crossovers or anything, I can use three line three input, mentioning simple one condition, the conditions, whatever it is, and I can after that I can change the input, give the different inputs. Like I can give RSI also, I can give awesome oscillators also. Okay, so similar way you can use various studies. Okay, to get further help, what you can do, for example, you want to build a query and you are not able to do it. What you can do, you can contact us for the same. We'll help you out to how we can build it, so that you will be from next time onwards you'll be independent, and uh, next time if you want it, you can take our help also and you can build it. I will explain you in that manner, that will next time you'll be independent and you are making the query on your own. Okay, and if you are stuck somewhere, you can always contact us. So by yeah, I'll just close this webinar. Okay, we discuss about many things that we can use and help you to make it the advanced version of it. Okay, using multi, right from the multi studies to giving multi studies input, to giving multi time frames, to giving multi candle conditions. Okay, so this is the advanced thing that you can use to give and give you a more precise view scanning of your particular strategy. So thank you all and wish you all a very happy weekends. Okay, so I end up the session over here.